Ora bem, hoje vamos falar aqui do resumo, continuar no resumo da COMPUTEX, Taipei 2025. Tem muitos vídeos ainda para fazer, mas com estes dias assim de muito calor, pá, não dá, porque esta hora a coisa fica complicada, não é? Hoje vamos falar Thermaltake, vamos ter também NZXT. Vamos ter o FDTech, o C3D TV, o Paulus Hardware, o Debauer e o Gamers Nexus nestes vídeos todos. Então, sem mais longas, vamos passar aqui e vamos tentar colocar aqui tudo como é normal fazer. Ok? E vamos então para o Paulus Hardware. Ele vai falar um bocadinho da Thermaltake. Ok?
There it is, the Tower 600 available now in Mocha Mousse. We have this color right here, which is I believe the same color.
Eu tive uma Thermaltake há uns anos atrás.
And then they have I think this is a white, maybe a slightly on the interior. I love all the different color options that Thermaltake gives you, especially for these tower cases, which
eles estão a colocar as caixas muito interessantes em termos de cor.
Expect the Mocha Mousse version of the Tower 600 in Q3. MSRP is $190. Next we have the
Estas caixas pequenas, entre aspas, também estão muito interessantes. Ok? Muito interessantes. Tem para todos os gostos.
Hydrangea blue in the background there. This is a new color. Actually, if you watch my CES coverage, they had this gravel sand finish in a different case. I think it was the Tower 300.
Gostava de ter visto os valores, os preços.
See if I can just pop out the side panel there, give you a look at the interior. Look at that two-tone color option. I just think that's really nice. Again, color options for Thermaltake.
Thermaltake não é propriamente caixas mais baratas, não é? Mas
but it is not. So maybe I can get some B-roll of that to show you guys. That was also another color option that they had at CES with one of their different chassis. Has a nice dark blue, purplish finish. And I mean, that's a cool name too, Future Dusk, right? All right, expect these new colors for the TR100 in August, and the MSRP will still be the same at $120 US.
Acho que estão muito engraçadas.
Of the TR100, a little bit bigger, which means more room for activities, like this LCD panel that they have installed on the front of the TR200.
Isto vai ser outro mercado que vai dar muito o que falar, tanto nos IOs como nas próprias caixas. Acho que isto vai trazer muitos problemas, as avarias. Mais outra trend, que é estas coisas das madeiras.
Popular edition, and I think it's a very classy way to give your case a bit of a nice finish on the front. So that's a swappable panel for the front of this case. And there's a look at the black version as well. It maintains the easy access removable side panels that the TR100 has. What's really nice about this one is the price. MSRP is going to be $80. Do note that doesn't include these 6-inch.
$80 sem isso, não é?
Expect this one to be available in Q3. If any of you really like the look of the TR100, but we're like, what if they made it bigger? They're going to do that too. We got now the 100, the 200, and the 300. This is a full-size ATX version of that chassis, but again, still maintains a lot of the look and feel that we have from the front.
Não sei. Eles dizem que vai haver tamanho maior, não dizem quando.
Here's a look at the IO, which includes
isso é que
that's the same for the TR200 over here, by the way. Thermaltake says the side panel options are TBD here, so the tempered glass is what they have installed, but I imagine they're maybe also considering the perforated.
As cores estão muito boas. Portanto, vai dar caixa para todo o gosto.
On this case, it says an MSRP of $100, $99.99, available in Q3. I sense a presence. I sense a presence.
100 euros, mas não sabemos como é que vem com a taxa, as novas taxas.
Yes. Okay. Here's a case that we did see at CES. This is the View 600.
Isso vem com as ventoinhas.
The yellow and the caramel color on the inside. If you guys enjoyed seeing these at CES, Thermaltake is happy to say that they are coming out very soon. ETA is Q2, so that gives them about a month or so after this video goes up. MSRP for these is going to be $150, and they're going to be adding some additional colors. The butter caramel over here, the mint strawberry right here, and that's to go along with your standard black and white versions over there. This is a new case that you have.
A minha caixa da Thermaltake durou mais de 20 anos. Era de alumínio.
A little bit smaller version of the View 600.
E naquela altura costuma uma pipa de massa.
Angled glass on the front, which is actually on both sides over there as well. Looks like that one's been reinforced a little bit. Hey, that's a good thing to do for a show. You don't want these popping off and falling. The V370 TG ARGB is going to support your ATX and micro ATX motherboards. Right now, they're just putting it together.
Eu não sou muito apologista das caixas assim, devido à refrigeração.
And that varies depending on,
Vamos ver o que é que o Gamers Next nos testes vai dar.
RGB. This one has a curve instead of an angle around the front. That's a 4mm curved tempered glass front and 3mm tempered glass side panels over here. So this one is really sticking with the view theme, being able to get a good look at everything installed inside your case. This one's going to be quite reasonably priced. MSRP is $90. Expecting this to launch fairly soon in Q2. And going back to the 370, because I kind of skipped the final details here, that one's expected in Q3, still in development, and that one's going to have an MSRP aiming for $110. Check out these cases right here. This is the View 390 Air, which...
Aquela gosto, daquela preta, com aquela ventoinha grande.
Replacing the side panel on the Future Dusk version. Now, I was talking with Mike about the Future Dusk, and it's a really cool color because it's purple. Is it purple? What do you guys think? Is that purple or blue? It's maybe something... I feel like it has a slight navy blue to it, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyway, it's the Dusk. It is just like the Dusk. Cool thing about this case is going to be it supports up to 360mm radiators. And I'm looking for those fans. Are those 180s or 200s? 200s. All right. This case has a distinctive wraparound top piece where they've done the curve this way instead of this way as it is on some other cases. Now, of course, air doesn't pass through glass. That's well known. So this case is also outfitted with dual 200mm fans at the front. I am a big fan of big fans because it lets me make that pun, of course. But big fans can also move a lot of air at lower RPMs, maintaining a nice, quiet computing experience.
Não, mas quero ver isso.
We also have lots of intake down here at the bottom with plenty of space there. We also have a pull-out dust filter for that intake, very important.
Estas ventoinhas não estão incluídas. Só as duas primeiras, sim, da caixa. Estes AIOs são o rumo que eles estão a dar.
Doesn't always play well, but I feel like this build is looking real nice with that color scheme. For the black and white version of this case, which will be coming out first, those will be available for $140 MSRP. Look for those in the next month.
140.
And then for the additional color options, we're looking for
preços em dólares sem IVA, já sabem.
Yeah, they should be. All right, cool. Okay, guys, here are some more cases. And would you be interested in these cases? Would. Would, I believe, is the response to that.
Epá, esta está feia que dói.
How clean is that? That looks pretty nice. So they're doing this lighter white...
mistura dentro. Os tubos brancos com tubos pretos.
This is a View 380 XL, so these are all...
Acho que é uma falha.
That they're going to be adding wood to some degree. These two down on the end don't have an MSRP or a ETA yet, but for the View 380 XL wood right here, we're looking at a $130 MSRP available around Q3. And for the View 270 wood right here, we're having an MSRP of $100, even with the lovely white oak wood accents on there, and that is also...
Isso para mim é só para escritório.
Also gets the wood treatment there on the front. I like that. Again, just a nice clean accent. I feel like it's a bit of a classier option versus the very blingy RGB gamer aesthetic, so I appreciate people having that option, especially for builds they might want to put in a different area of their home, maybe an HD PC or something like that. So we don't have an MSRP or an ETA for the TR100 wood or the Tower 600 wood Snow Edition over here, but Thermaltake wants your feedback on these because they're considering selling these with the wood panels, just you buy the wood version of the case, or offering these as upgrade kits for people who have existing cases. If you already have a TR600, would you want to buy a kit that has the wood panels that you pop on there?
Isso é uma boa ideia, acho que nem vale a pena perguntar, não é?
As the case wood version by itself. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thermaltake's going to read those. They're very good at taking feedback.
Seria interessante.
And see products that are in development is because Thermaltake wants to know what you guys think of them. This one just got unplugged, which is fine. All right, it's cool. I kind of like that.
Mas eu pessoalmente não.
Like this before was actually riveted onto the case.
Okay.
So we're changing this up for this kind of an option. So that's where I'm not too sure where we'll go with like a kit option for it.
Okay.
But it's got the same nice features to it, just to kind of show you the magnitude.
É prático, mas isso não sei.
It's all wood. There's no metal frame or anything. And maintaining the filter too.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Check this out over here. This is the Mindcube 360 Ultra AR
Olha,
series.
mais outra paranoia.
Putting LCD screens on all-in-one liquid cooler pump blocks, but we could go beyond that. We are going to do not one, not two, not three, but four 3.95-inch 720
Tá bonito.
screens. They're all controlled by a single integrated chip as well. That's helped them keep the cost down. This is still going to be a bit on the pricey side because it is a pretty specialty product. Thermaltake went through the process of getting this patented. We're looking at a launch in August for an MSRP of $350. That's a lot. This is a specialty AIO, so you guys can let me know in the comments.
$300.
Something that you would feel like is a solid investment for your PC? Are you a huge fan of Minecraft? My daughter is.
Para aquela malta de Minecraft.
But it's not just the LCDs, it's functional as well. This unit pops off, it's got an active fan underneath to provide some extra cooling for the components underneath, as well as a bit of airflow for the VRM areas. The AIO is also going to come with some of Thermaltake's most premium fans, the SWA fans here, which are, of course, daisy chainable, so you can easily connect them. And this is going to launch alongside the new version of Thermaltake's TTRG.
Software deles, vamos ver se vai funcionar como deve ser.
software to control these screens here, which you can of course have display useful information about your PC.
Isto não vai trazer malwares,
This is currently
como
in
eu costumo.
but they are fans of course with LCD screens along the side.
Olha, isto
Lots of LCD screens on this show. They're all connected, so you can have animations that run between them. These are also theoretically, as long as they go to
está certo.
watching them, since they are still
Vai ser bonito, vai ser baratinho, vai.
RGB 3.0 software, and they're still going to maintain all the useful stuff like magnetic quick connections, which I imagine is also going to be helpful for the connection for the LCD, right?
Right, because there's two cables, one for the fan and then one for the screen.
Okay, awesome. So I don't want to remove that because they got this going right now. But cool new fans from Thermaltake. Do you guys think a system would look cool with that Minecube block and then LCDs along the side, or is it too much LCD? I don't know. It's like the ultimate customization for your PC. A quick note on some updated power supply.
Não.
The PT850, 1000, and 1200.
Aí está, fontes de alimentação da Thermaltake também.
All the way through platinum, and they've updated them with ATX 3.1 connectors, as well as a two-tone connector for the 12VH power. And that's again just to make sure you have peace of mind that you're plugging in your 12V 2x6 connector all the way. This is a Tough Power i2000 watt, 2000 watts. They only have
2000 watts.
30-volt connection, 1,650 watts if you're in the US, and that is also going to tie in with the new TTRGB 3.0 software that's going to allow you to do
O software também, isso é interessante.
on every single 12V 2x6 connector. Rounding things out here at Thermaltake, we have some case mods. I feel like Thermaltake and G-Skill as my two sponsors.
Este modo,
Promoting these really cool case mods, and this one even has some beer inside. Nice lager, a little bit foamy there, I guess, but this is clearly a TR100 mod by Mickey Lacerna, or Mad Mods from the Philippines. I've shown you guys the gravel sand version of the Tower 600, but this might be the
este gosto.
build I've seen in one. I like the choice of color for the accent lighting. Really helps blend everything together, and I like the way it sort of plays with the reflections on the reservoir there up at the top as well. This is from George Antonopoulos from Overchilled, coming all the way from Greece. Here's a View 380XL TG ARGB mod by Jesse Palacio from JP Modified, also from the Philippines. I like this branch coming across the front and the
Não, na Filipina tem modders muito bons.
inside there as well. From Thailand we have Wudang. It's TR100 modified to look like the cute little hippo.
Está certo.
And a TR100 with a custom paint job. This one's by Su Chao Prafong, who I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but that is perhaps the cutest mod we've seen on this trip. Here's a Tower 600 on its side, and like I couldn't even tell this was a Tower 600 at first because it's not on a little stand. It's actually just positioned completely on its side, so it looks like a little Japanese house. You got a thatched
Está certo.
all the custom woodwork done here, like little bamboo window grating right there. That's really cool. We've got
Experimenta levar isso para arranjar.
functional computer inside. Little kitty cat there by the tree. That's wow, that's just a really cool mod. Man, there's so many awesome mods on this trip. Meow. Oh, there's a kitty up there too. Lots of cats. Another TR100 mod. This one's got a bumblebee vibe to it, made by Mike Zamsin from the Philippines. I should say this mod is by Toru Sekiguchi, and again, apologies if my pronunciation is off there. From Japan, bumblebee looking TR100. Wow, that's just so cool. They've even
Não digo, nas Filipinas tem muita gente a trabalhar nisto.
Another Tower 600 mod here. That one was seriously modded. It's like they cut the entire side of the chassis out and they angled the top piece up here. This one's from Alessandro Zaiti from Italy. Here's a look at the back. Some of the water cooling components on there.
Fantástico.
Sort of corrugated cable wrap they got here, and then they've got some of the transparent tubes as well. Here's yet another Tower 100. This one's from Justin Chu from
Muito bom.
Black and red aesthetic. Beautiful custom work on the cooling inside. We got a radiator, it looks like, routed down here to the bottom. And then perhaps the most popular
Hey.
Tower 600 mid-tower from Naransorn Ratinbuku,
Ah.
Thailand. This one's a Black Myth Wukong mod, if you didn't notice. And oh my gosh, look at the intricate work.
Isto é uma obra de arte.
All these little detailed pieces on the outside. I have no idea, but that is a piece of.
Isto é uma obra de arte.
But guys, that's all the time I have for here at the Thermaltake booth.
Mas a malta tem que rezar para aquilo levar os simuladores.
This year, as well as my additional
Fantástico. Vejam aqui o vídeo dele, do Paulo Hardware, que está muito, muito bom. Vamos aqui a este vídeo bastante pequeno da LC3D. Ele faz montagens também.
Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and I've come to the Thermaltake stand today.
Também veio da Thermaltake.
I'm honest, only
Vamos ver se
the View 390 Air.
para não repetirmos as mesmas.
It has a wrap
Porque cada youtuber tem gostos pessoais e ideias.
at the wraparound screen AIO that they've got, and we'll show you that in more depth later.
Os IOs estão na moda agora com esses ecrãs. Eu pessoalmente não.
I'm going to put this side back on.
E vejo os problemas que isto vai dar.
Feel better now. I've put the side panel back on for them. It was bothering me. Anyway, it's another 390, but it's the Snow. They've got a screen up in the top as well. It looks like a mini iPhone. In fact, can I look at it that way? Yeah, we can.
Está ali alguém num simulador de automóvel.
But it's a cracking looking camera.
Mas Deve ser aqueles dois que estavam há bocado ali.
or 180s. But it also comes in yellow. And then also, if you're feeling brave, you can get busy with the purple. It's the classic thermal take vibe where they give you all of the colour choices, so you can build your rig your way. Now the TR range is quite cool because it's a very small form factor. This, despite its compact size, is actually full ATX. You can see that there's a full ATX motherboard in there with pretty much just room at the top for an AIO and then a set of fans at the bottom. But then you have the power supply at the front to keep it out of the way, so it's a little bit longer than normal. No, I say normal, what is normal? But very, very short on the height-wise. And then I can't help but...
Não, está os LEDs.
But this does throw me back to like dual CD and DVD drives. But I love the fact that there's a screen there. I genuinely need to find more out about this, but it does say, here you go, look, it says compatible with this 6-inch LCD screen kit. I love this. This is great. They also do an M80X version. This hasn't got the window on the side, but you can get it with a window on the side. The only difference is it's M80X, so there's only 4 expansion slots at the back, but everything else is the same, so it's 3 expansion slots shorter. Now we're going to take a look at a few of the views. This is the View 370. This, if you have a look, has got the angular front. If you're wondering why there's a delay, it's just because I need to play with the settings of the camera a little bit more, but you can see that there's an angle. One piece of glass, one piece...
Esta é a mesma caixa que vimos há bocado.
Point that out. You've got 2 pieces of glass. You don't have the piece of glass in this corner.
Ele foca muito mais ao perto.
And here's the white version. It does look beautiful, but this one doesn't have the option to have the screen in it like this one does. This one is that little bit bigger, and if I'm honest, it's got me wondering whether this might actually be an option. There's a little screen down here.
Olha quem passou ali, o Gamers Next.
Mag curve. This is the AIO that I was showing you before with the top on it. So wrap round, it's got a very satin looking top, if you have a look. It's not like the other ones that I've seen. And if I take the top off, what I'm going to say is that it's actually nice that this hasn't got a fan in it like all of the other models have had, so it's not going to be loud, it's not going to be noisy. The screen will magically come back to life in a minute because I've been round here already and taken it apart. There we go. The software is going to be the make or break with these, as always, but I'm hearing great things, and the reason why I'm hearing great things is what I'm about to show you now. You see Minecube, you see Ultra...
Esta vem o... Isto para a malta do Minecraft vai ser um sucesso. Já mostramos há bocado. É.
Thing is what...
Passar para a frente.
I mean, this thing... like little magnet Minecraft things. I want some of these. Okay, I'm now completely off the chain, but this thing is...
Aquelas gráficas também já vimos. Este também já vimos.
Just next level, like that. Really cool chairs.
Cadeiras. Oh.
It's so slick around the back, and if I'm honest, I think they're going to have to send me one because they're really comfortable. Anyway, I'm not sure why the camera is playing up so much today. I say playing up. I'm having to reset it so much to keep centering. Going to need to play with the settings. I'm still a noob. Anyway, I need one of these because these are lovely. Like
Ela a afiembrar-se a uma oferta da Thermaltake.
Came here early today and still got welcomed. Even though they're so busy, made time. It's been a wonderful little visit. Mods are epic. The Minecraft AIO is just next level. Someone was smoking some serious stuff when they come up with that. It's done them some huge favours.
Não, a Thermaltake esteve muito bem.
Please make sure that you go and have a look on the website. Why do you need to do that? Because Mark has been working his absolute socks off, making sure all the written content has been going on the site.
Esteve muito bem.
Do this alone. I'm here making videos, going back to the hotel, editing, and then when I'm in bed, Mark's in the UK getting all of the writing done, and we're pretty much on a rotating cycle.
Okay.
3D is a family, and
Visitem o OC3D TV. Vejam o vídeo então dele aqui. Merece. Agora vamos também ao Gamers Nexus que teve naquele vídeo. Não é? Vamos passar já para a frente. É água. A ver? Não é água, atenção. Não.
to $30 per liter, and there's 50 liters in there.
Yeah.
Basically, the reason this is cool is not only is the stuff actually sitting in the liquid, but it's piped through these gigantic pipes, which are rated for, let me check my notes here, because it was insane. I think it's 20 bar. It's a 20 bar oil hose is what that's running through. That comes over to this, and this is
Isso é um refrigerador, como deve ser.
a bunch of different distro plates, pumps and rads and everything, all for cooling and exchanging the liquid that the computer's immersed in. So it's kind of like it's a showcase. It's more of an enterprise
Yeah.
solution, but it's super cool, and I want to talk about it. They also have some consumer stuff. So on the consumer side, we'll be talking about the TR200, the TR300, which are larger variants of the similar design.
Está, é engraçado como vários youtubers passam no mesmo stand, não é? É isso que eu estou a mostrar, e
Glass top, curved around the top and side.
não é exatamente o mesmo, não é?
Feedback on what type of fans to include with that. I've got my preference, but we'll look at it in a minute. And then finally, we'll be talking about the liquid cooling a little bit. So there's a Mine Cube, which has some familiar font on the board above it. And I will say, the Mine Cube is a legally distinct Mine Cube.
É.
Let's get into Thermaltake's booth.
Portanto, essa,
This video is brought to you by the
vamos passar à frente, já sabem, a publicidade,
cooling stuff. This is a CPU load they're running, so they currently have the CPU.
fantástico.
GPU's at 100% load. It's an Intel W9 3495X, which is definitely a name you could have. And then for the temperature, so CPU core temperature is at about 60 degrees in a room that feels like it's about 23 degrees Celsius. And I will say, I am very in tune with ambient temperature from over a decade of thermal testing, so I'm pretty confident in that number. GPU's at about 64 for at least the one that's exposed here. There's two GPUs in there.
Isto é líquido tipo óleo, atenção.
They're 420s, there's four of them, and those are 64 millimeters thick.
Não é nenhuma novidade, um PC completamente mergulhado em óleo.
The radiators, as you'd expect, coming around the back here. Wow, it is warm. You can feel the heat coming off. So on the back side, inside it's kind of like a distro plate. Basically, huge pipes are coming in here. They're hitting the tubes, splitting to the radiators. That's how you get your supply and return of the dielectric fluid, which is what this is, a dielectric liquid, which means it is non-conductive. That's how they can sink it in.
Claro.
And then this is the
Se fosse condutor, ui,
that they have for the exchange. I don't think they need to be able to endure the amount of pressure this hose probably can. I don't know what industry this comes from. Please let me know, because I tried to ask and they don't know either. But it's just the exchange for all the liquid. Now, one thing I would think, because of the viscosity and the sort of thickness of the liquid, there's some different requirements than just water. But we just thought it was cool. I mean, immersing computers in a liquid it's always a cool thing to see at a show. Definitely can make sense for enterprise solutions. Gigabyte's done it. But let's move over to some of the consumer stuff. All right, so now we're at the View 390 Air.
É.
If it sounds like I'm going,
nem tem preço, não é?
it's
Ah.
I'm at a racetrack apparently. So we're not going to talk about that stuff today. It's not what we cover, but they're getting.
Acho que a Thermaltake esteve muito à frente.
Is a $150 case. This is the one where Thermaltake is seeking feedback. How's the audio? Can you hear how fast I am, Vitaly? They're thinking about including two fans. It's just a question of, is it two fans in the back, or is it two fans maybe in the front? And to hit $150, it's probably going to be just two, from what they were telling me.
$150.
My personal thought is, you can leave your comment below before I answer, but
Seriam os da frente.
possible, including the two 120 or two 200s rather in the front, rather than doing fans anywhere else. And the reason for that is just because for
Porque as de trás são fáceis de encontrar, destas não.
to already have or to get with their liquid cooler. And
Claro.
so these are least likely, I think. If someone's going to mount an AIO, it's going to go on the side. It's going to have three fans already, so that takes care of that. So it's just going to be the front or the back that they're looking at for the choice. I feel like the two fronts should work better, and the reason is, so this
As
glass.
ventinhas da frente são de 20 polegadas, ok?
And interestingly, closing off the top panel can work better sometimes. It is very situational, but the reason that closing it can work better for CPU thermal performance in particular is because when you push the air in,
Fazer aquela curvatura no vidro é das partes mais complicadas. Já tiveram outros fabricantes a falar nisso.
they're looking for feedback on what kind of fans to include for the $150 mark. The glass is 4 to 5 millimeters thick, so it's a very large glass. It is a slide block, and then inside there's a screen that's mounted above the motherboard. That is optional. They do that on basically everything where it's like a separately purchasable screen. If you don't buy the screen, then there's supposed to be a plate, from what I understand. I think it's just a steel plate that closes it off. And then they have all the different colors that you can see here. So anyway, that is the View 390 Air. Quick fan specs, they've got the 3 120 spots on the bottom. They're sunken, 3 on the side. The 2 120s in the back that are vertically stacked, which is this we've been seeing more of, and I actually do like seeing that when there's vertical room for it. But it does make the case a lot taller. And then up to two 200s in the front. Let's move over to one of the other cases. So these are the TR200.
É uma caixa interessante, aquela.
This is the TR100 that we've already looked at. They just have different colors of them. So that's kind of the origin for where these are going now. This is a micro ATX case. It's supposed to be an $80 price point. I don't have the final.
$80.
The TR300 is a $100 case.
Não sabemos a situação das tarifas, como é que é.
And then they're using a newer TFT panel for this, which Thermaltake says has better brightness. They say has better resolution than their prior panels. And then for the case itself, actually, this is a prototype wood panel. So they've got wood on a bunch of cases that are already out, and they're playing around with it.
Isto eu já disse que não, não é minha apologia. Este fiquei desgostoso com a mistura do preto com branco. Acho que uma grande diferença do Gamers Next é que ele começa logo a avaliar as caixas, porque ele tem muito conhecimento nisso. Não é por nada. Esta é aquela que já fartamos de ver. Não vale a pena perdermos tempo com isto, porque já está em 2 vídeos diferentes. Ok? Ele gostou muito, já vi. Ok. Gamers Nexus, vejam o vídeo dele sobre a Thermaltake, que também está muito interessante. Depois vamos ter aqui o FD Tech. Este também é um youtuber da África do Sul, que depois mudou. Vamos aqui.
Pieces of hardware that they'll have coming out. I'm going to start first, as is appropriate, with their new color combinations. The Tower 600.
Eu acho que ele não foi lá, mas foi a avaliar. Eu gostei desta caixa. Okay? E estas caixas também já.
Just as gorgeous. In terms of new cases, not just color, in TR300 are.
Eu realmente não me acredito que ele tivesse ido mesmo, porque o filho dele tem problemas de saúde. Vai ser complicado. Eu acho que ele agora está nos States. Este já tinha mostrado aqui há uns meses atrás. São umas caixas bastante interessantes. E as cores. Também gostei desta. Este já vimos. Vou passar à frente. A caixa líquido. Este também já vimos. Vou gostar de ver o software, ok? Se vai resultar ou não. Também já vimos as fontes. Passar para a frente. Os IOs vão vir muito fortes, ok? Só que com o aparecimento destes ecrãzinhos nos IOs, acho que vai subir o preço. Não sei. Não é. Não gosto. Vejam aqui então o vídeo do FD Tech sobre as Thermaltake. E agora vamos ao T-Power NGXT. Ok? Estar aqui. Este tipo de apresentações eu gosto mais, porque é eles diretamente com os produtores, com grupos mais pequenos. A NGXT também apresenta produtos muito interessantes.
Completely different when it comes to the budget. We're jumping right over in this corner where they're showcasing the H9 flow in this black version, which I think looks a lot better or even much better.
Agora eles têm que ver muito bem os preços. Okay.
This single frame triple 140 in the corner and also single frame triple 140 built into the bottom. And that's the thing kind of with NZXT. You know, they're doing this very sleek, elegant design. But you kind of have to stay within the NZXT environment because it all fits very well together, but only if you really go with the NZXT solution. So for example, if you were to pick other 140mm fans that might have a different height, for example, it will definitely not look as great. So you're kind of bound into getting exactly how it looks like here. If you like that, then that might be your thing. But then you will have to pay but then you will have to pay €300 because that's what you will have to pay.
€300.
Single frame 140 thing installed in the back like this, and the single frame triple 140 installed in the bottom, and also the RGB fan, the 120mm in the back. Also, you might notice that this is the new AAO from NZXT.
Puxada.
This single frame triple fan thing, but even in a push-pull configuration on top, so at least there is sufficient space in the top that you could either do this push-pull configuration with a thinner radiator, or you could go with a standard size radiator but a thicker.
Mas fiquei bocado desgostoso com este preço. Tinha ali caixas de Thermaltake bem mais acessíveis.
So very high quality.
Agora também boards da NGXT.
Black for
Ups, cuidado, não das cabo disso.
NZXT also told me that there will soon be a version for the cheaper AMD chipsets,
Vila que ficou com medo.
€500. So if you want to wait,
500 euros.
seems like they will also have this soon. And I already have this motherboard in my office. I wanted to test it before COMPUTEX, but I didn't have time to make
Esta é daquelas que dá para pôr muitos discos M2.
Also to make this clear, they're just showcasing Intel in white and AMD in black, but they're both
Ah,
will be available in both colors. So you will also be able to get the AMD motherboard in white.
em branco e em preto vai ser possível.
AIO that we saw in the system over there in the black one is showcased here standalone, and that's the Kraken Elite, made from Cool IT with this 2.7-inch
Não
IPS
tem muita palhaçada, não é?
by 640 pixels.
Deixa eu ver se ele diz o preço.
And that is what I like about this LCD cover on top. So it looks really, really good. One more thing I absolutely love is how soft the tubing is. So it should be very nice to install, and also that the cable is routed through the sleeving in here. So you only have the cable on here, and that's it. That should also make installation clean and very easy. Last year they showed a 120mm based single frame fans, and this year they're adding 140mm based ones. And I think the main advantage is how quickly you could mount this in your system with only a single cable.
Ah, diz lá o preço.
Proprietary. So it means you have an 8-pin cable, but it's only kind of proprietary because it just carries the 4-pin PWM and also the 4-pin RGB. So you will have an adapter, and with this adapter you can just attach it anywhere else if you want to. But the cool thing with this cable is how it can attach to the motherboard. And this connector can be found again on the NZXT motherboard. So you have one on the top and another one on the bottom right here. So if you want to, for example, hook up one of those single frame fans on top of your case and on the bottom of your case, you can just simply plug it directly into the motherboard, which is pretty straightforward. As you noticed, it was super loud at NZXT, so I'm just doing this part again. The H3 Flow is a super attractive option for building a micro ATX system because it's only going to be €80 and it looks super sleek. In the front, you could mount up to 280 radiator, and in top,
Isso é uma micro.
and depending on your fan configuration in the front, you can fit up to 377mm length graphics card and quad slot height. But that could be a problem. Also, in the exhibition system, you can see that there was a dual slot card mounted with 2 fans underneath, but very tight. And this can easily introduce like an annoying sound in between the fans and the graphics card. So you have to be really careful building it exactly the way you see it right here. Regarding PSUs, there's not that much that is new except for this series.
Olha, fontes.
Entry-oriented. It's a series that comes with a 12-volt high-power connector directly attached. It's 80 plus bronze, so might maybe not be interesting for you, but probably for some of the SIs. And that is a topic that you can definitely feel in the entire NZXT environment, that a lot of this is targeted towards SIs. For example, if you would get the H9 Flow with the fans pre-built in, then you get the NZXT motherboard. You just plug 2 headers and everything is already connected. Then you get the NZXT AIO, which only has 1 connector. All of this together, it's extremely convenient and extremely quick and easy to build. That is something they're like focusing on. That's something I like. And if you like the NZXT design, then this could be something for you. Otherwise, it's sometimes a bit too much in their own cosmos, in their own environment, if you say it like
É, mas a NZXT tem que ver os preços. Muita atenção. Preços. E estivemos, portanto, Devour foi à NZXT. Vejam se gostam desse tipo de conteúdos deles. Da NGXT, eu não sou muito apologista, mas eu gostei muito do material da Thermaltake, porque tive uma caixa durante mais de 20 anos e só a troquei porque, infelizmente, nas mudanças que fiz, fui partindo uma coisa aqui, outra coisa acolá, a caixa era de alumínio, ok? E então depois acabei por trocar. Mas caixa Thermaltake é sempre uma caixa Thermaltake, ok? Mas vi os preços bastante interessantes, ok? E ficamos então por aqui. Muito obrigado, continua